Iran sprung a major surprise just days after US President Donald Trump's high-stakes meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, injecting fresh tension into the regional power game. In a potential power move by Mojtaba's camp, is Tehran mocking Trump's inability to get Xi to reign in Iran, framing Washington's push as a diplomatic failure? Iran appointed its top negotiator for US ceasefire talks as a special representative for China, tightening its strategic channel with Beijing right as US-China diplomacy intensifies. Iranian media reports on May 17 said that Iran has appointed Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf as a special representative for relations with China, giving him a new foreign policy role focused on Beijing. In this position, Ghalibaf will be responsible for coordinating key sectors of Iran-China ties, including political, economic, and strategic cooperation. Ghalibaf previously served as Iran's chief negotiator in talks with the United States that culminated in a ceasefire agreement after the recent Gulf conflict. Reports also indicate that China played an important backchannel role in nudging Tehran toward those negotiations, using its leverage with both sides to reduce tensions. Following his new appointment, Ghalibaf publicly praised Xi Jinping's vision of global transformation and closer cooperation among non-Western powers. He said the world is now at the cusp of a new order led by countries of the global South, implicitly positioning Iran and China as central players in that shift. Ghalibaf's X post read, quote, "The world stands at the cusp of a new order. As President Xi said, the transformation unseen in a century is accelerating across the globe, and I emphasize that the Iranian nation's 70-day resistance has accelerated this transformation. The future belongs to the global South." Unquote. Analysts say this move likely signals a deeper strategic alignment between Iran and China in the aftermath of the Gulf conflict, especially in security and economic domains. The appointment was announced just days after US President Donald Trump concluded his visit to China, underscoring how Tehran is recalibrating its China policy amid shifting great power dynamics. On May 15, China's foreign minister described the Xi-Trump talks as fruitful and wide-ranging, framing the summit as a substantive engagement across many policy areas. Wang Yi said the two leaders spent nearly 9 hours in exchanges that combined formal talks, state banquets and working meetings, underscoring the visit's intensity. He emphasized a tone of mutual respect, a shared commitment to peace and a willingness to expand cooperation, language aimed at calming tensions and deepening ties. Wang also said both sides agreed to build a more constructive relationship of strategic stability, signaling an interest in steadier, calmer US-China relations. However, China's official readout and Wang Yi himself made no mention of Iran's nuclear program, a notable omission given Trump's public statements on the subject. The readout likewise did not refer to any offer by Beijing to help resolve the Iran conflict, contradicting Trump's subsequent claims that she had offered assistance. That contrast stands in stark relief to Trump's assertion that she could influence Tehran on both uranium enrichment and the situation in the Strait of Hormuz. Beijing instead reiterated its consistent position calling for dialogue and de-escalation, favoring diplomatic steps rather than pressure or coercive measures. On the Strait of Hormuz, China said reopening should depend on a sustained ceasefire, a conditional formulation that stops short of endorsing external enforcement actions.
And President Xi would like to see a deal made. He would like to see a deal made. And he did offer, he said, if I can be of any help at all, I would like to be of help. Because,
he did say that.
Yeah, he did say that. And look, anybody that buys that much oil has obviously got some kind of a relationship with him. But he said, I would love to be of help. If I can be of any help whatsoever, he'd like to see the Hormuz Strait open. He said, if I could be of any help whatsoever, I would like to help. This has been an incredible visit. I think a lot of good has come of it. We've made some fantastic trade deals, great for both countries. He's a man I respect greatly, become really a friend. We've known each other now 11 years, almost 12 years, that's a long time. And we've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle. And the relationship is a very strong one. We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar to Iran. We want that to end. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open. We're closing it now. I mean, they closed it, then we closed it on top of them. But we want the straits open, and we want them to get it ended because it's a crazy thing. They're a little bit crazy. And that's no good. Can't have it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Meanwhile, China's readout focused heavily on economic cooperation and trade expansion, reflecting Beijing's priority to lock in commercial gains from high-level visits. Both sides agreed to improve market access and set up new trade and investment mechanisms, pledging practical steps to deepen bilateral economic ties. Taiwan was characterized by Beijing as the most important issue in bilateral relations, a reminder of the core sensitivity that shapes China's approach to the United States. China urged Washington to adhere to the One China principle and existing agreements strictly, reiterating long-standing red lines in the relationship. On Ukraine, both sides said they want an early end to the war and committed to staying in contact, but offered no detailed roadmap or joint plan to advance that goal. Despite broad statements and mutual pledges, there was no sign in the readout of any new joint initiative or breakthrough on Iran, Hormuz, Taiwan, or other contentious issues.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.